Hey fellow designers, it's Karen of Karen Gwen Customs. Welcome back to my channel. Today is actually going to be the first installment of my vlog entitled Bridal Party in 25 Days. That's right, I'm going to be doing an entire bridal party order, bridesmaid dresses, maid of honor dresses, a total of 12, as well as a wedding dress and a reception jumpsuit in about 25 days. The wedding is not in 25 days. It's like 3 months from now, but that's how quickly I want to get it done. It's just a personal goal that I've set for myself because I feel like the faster you work, the more money you can make, obviously. If I make the same amount of money and take 2 or 3 months on something or take 1 month, obviously I'm going to make my time is worth more if I'm able to do everything in the 1 month instead of stretching it out over 3 months, because then I'm not able to take more orders. Also, this is December the 29th, and I really want to finish quickly because I want to also be able to take some prom orders and make some money there as well. So what I've done, I'm not working out of my own planner because I haven't had time to update it yet for 2022. So I picked up this cute planner from Marshall's, and it has a section for dreaming. And so I've just taken the time to write out, to start writing out a 25-day schedule. So I'm going to show this to you guys really quickly. All right, so day 1 is printing and taping the bridesmaid patterns together, which I've already done. I am going to be using my bridesmaid dress pattern, which is going to make things a lot easier for me. The last time I did a bridal party, I was drafting the pattern as well as doing the dresses, so it just took me a lot longer. Step 2, I am determining pattern sizes for all dresses, which I've already started to do. So for example, here's one of the contracts, and I just looked at the lady's measurements, and I wrote down like what pattern sizes she fits into. So for example, her bust is 43.5 inches, her waist is 37.5 inches, and her hips is 43 inches. So her bust falls under a 2X. Her waist is between an XL and a 2X, but closer to an XL. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm cutting. Her hip falls into a large. So her hips are actually a little bit smaller than her waist, which is fine. And you know, when I start cutting out, I'm going to show you guys how I make adjustments for that. Her shoulder to waist length is 17 inches. So I am probably going to extend the torso of the pattern a little bit when I cut hers out. And then her waist to hip is 6 inches. So I'm going to be shortening that when I cut out her pattern. But that's what I'm doing for everyone's measurements. Number 3, I'm going to be cutting out all the skirt pieces. I have a total of 12. And then I split sewing the skirt pieces together over 2 days. When I was doing bridesmaids dresses last time, I felt like it took me about 4 hours of sewing per dress. And since I'm not doing a lining in these, they are black, I'm not going to be doing a lining for the skirt part because I feel like that just adds unnecessary bulkiness. I think that I can get it down to about 1.5 hours for each skirt of sewing. So with me having to do 12, I figured that would take me about 18 hours. And so I split it across 2 days, and I'm going to do 9 hours of sewing each day. Now, if I can get it done faster than that, great, and I will update my schedule as I go. Next, day 6, I'm going to be cutting out all the bodice pieces, and that includes boning. So let me write that down so that I don't forget, because these dresses do have boning in them. Number 7, I'm going to be sewing all the bodice pieces together. I also split that across 2 days. Day 9, attaching the bodice pieces to the skirts. Day 10, installing the zippers. Day 11, I'm going to be finishing off, which means I'm going to be doing any like hemming or like last minute finishing touches. The hemming for the skirts, for like hemming the split and hemming the bottoms, those are going to be done when I do this like sewing all skirt pieces. So this part should not be as cumbersome as it usually would be because some steps will already be done. And then the last step, well, not the last step, that's the last step for those dresses. And then on day 12, I'm going to be drafting and finalizing the wedding dress and jumpsuit patterns, which I'm probably going to do that before day 12. I'm just putting this here as a placeholder. these are the dresses. Okay, so these are the bridesmaid dresses, and these are inspiration photos from my client. I'm using Milliskin. So these are the bridesmaid dresses, and they're gonna have a split on the right leg. And I just printed this out. I made this in Microsoft Word. This is just a little reference page for me. And I wrote some reminders. If the person has a longer hip to floor length than my standard pattern, I'm going to be adding length there. And I'm also going to be adding length if there's a longer shoulder to waist or waist to hip, or, you know, decreasing length if needed. And then I have my size chart. I pasted in here just in case I need to look and make any quick adjustments. Okay, so, there are two matrons of honor. They're going to be wearing a dress that looks like this. The split is not going to be as high, and I am using Milliskin, so it's not going to be sequins like these, but these are inspiration photos. I am going to be having to add in some structure for this top. I don't have a pattern for this, and I don't have a pattern for this top either, so I'm going to have to take some time to draft those as well, but fortunately, I'm only doing a total of 3 of these dresses, 2 of these and 1 of these. This is going to be easy for me because I'll just be using my standard bridesmaid dress pattern, and instead of having that sweetheart cut in the middle, it's going to be cut straight across. Very simple. And then this is the maid of honor dress, and again, it's not going to be sequins. We're not going to have this little hip thing right here. It's going to have a sleeve. It's going to have this structure here, and then the bottom is going to be the same. And there are 2 matrons of honor. Matron means you're married, and then there's 1 maid of honor. Maid is unmarried. So these are the dresses. Okay, and then this is the inspiration photo for the wedding dress. So I did get it's gonna be on a mesh base with a nude lining, and then I did get a rhinestone bodice panel for this part, which we're going to be sewing on top of the base of the dress. And then up here, I'm going to have to get like some extra stones to do like a collar piece, and some stones to do the pieces that go around the arm. And then down here is going to be a silver glitter mesh lined with silver fabric. So yeah, that's basically the dress. And then I also have a picture of the jumpsuit. Well, I have a sketch of the jumpsuit that's completely original. So the jumpsuit material is this, and that is I'm gonna be using a few of these to do an entire jumpsuit. And here is the sketch of the jumpsuit right here. So it's going to be lined with nude. The see-through parts are going to be illusion mesh, and then you're going to have those beautiful stone pieces all over the jumpsuit. And then we're going to have a detachable tool train as well. And as you can see, the shoulder pieces stand up a little bit just to give it like a couture look. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have so much work cut out for me. It's going to be a very, very busy beginning of 2022 for me. Very busy January. But I work well under pressure, so I think it's going to be fine. I don't recommend doing this if this is your first bridal project. I recommend giving yourself as much time as you can, but I'm gonna try to just hunker down and get all this done in about a month. I'll let you guys know how it goes. So right now I'm just going through all of my contracts, comparing them to my size chart, and I'm writing down what sizes everyone is going to fall into for their bust, waist, and hip, whether that's a small, medium, large, extra large, so on and so forth. The pattern for my bridesmaid dress goes from an extra small all the way to a 3X. So the first step that I always do is just figure out what size everyone fits into so that when I get ready to cut out the pattern pieces, it's quick and easy. I also will write down the length from their shoulder to waist, as well as the length from their waist to hip, because that is something I adjust as well. Example, the waist to hip for the pattern is 8 inches. So if someone has a 6-inch waist to hip, I'm going to deduct 2 inches so that it fits right on their body. So my work day is over, so now it's time to focus on myself. I just took my wig off and took my hair down, and I'm about to wash it because it's like super, super dirty. And if I feel like it after I wash my hair, then I'm going to do a facial I always try to take really good care of my skin, especially after I take my frontal off, because you know there's like a half an inch of skin up here that's like not able to be washed while you're wearing it because it has like adhesive and stuff on it. But yeah, so if I feel like it after I wash my hair, then I'll do a facial, but we'll see. Okay, so I washed my hair and blow dried it. It's like 3 in the morning. I'm really tired, but I'm going to do myself a favor and go ahead and do a face mask and a lip mask so that when I do wake up tomorrow, I will be feeling brand new and refreshed. I got these from Target. I think this was like $2 and this one was I think $3, but don't quote me.
Let's do some gangster ones and some smiles. Yep. Let's do gangster first. You guys ready for gangster?
Ready to go to sleep. All right, so I'm back. It's day 2 and I'm heading to pick up the rhinestone panels for my bride's bridal jumpsuit. As you can see, I have new hair. The wig is from Amazon. If you guys like it, the link will be in the description box. It's not a frontal, so all I had to do this morning was just braid my hair down and put the wig on top. And I'm just able to focus on my work and not have to worry about combing my hair for a while. The person that I'm picking up the rhinestone panels from, I believe her name is Julie Nima, or it might be pronounced Ma. And she has a business called Rhinestone Temple, and she sells like rhinestone panels. This is my first time ordering from her, but she was very communicative about the status of my order and everything, and it only took like 2 weeks for me to get it. She did have to order one of them because she only had one in stock, and it only took 2 weeks for her to get it. She just messaged me this morning, told me I could come pick it up, so now I'm on my way over there. And next, I'll show you guys what it looks like when I unwrap it or whatever. Packaged like this. I'm so excited because they're very, very, very pretty. I can't wait to see my bride in this. Okay, let's see. How do I hold this up? Okay, so this is the front. Oh my God, look how sparkly. That's the front. And then this is the back. But I'm going to be cutting them out and sewing them onto the jumpsuit like where I want them to be. But I just wanted to show y'all real quick how pretty it is. Now, when you think about like all the work you have to do to get a project done, it can be overwhelming, but once you start seeing the goodies and the glittery and the bling and the sparkle, it really gets exciting. So now that I have this in my possession, I'm actually really, really, really excited to make this jumpsuit. So again, the information for how to purchase from her, from Rhinestone Temple, will be in my description box. It's Sunday. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten much work done, but Kylie is about to get ready for bed. She's finishing up some winter break homework, and once she's done and I get her into bed, then I'm just gonna kind of pull an all-nighter doing the work that I was trying to get done before today. Okay, so I'm in my sewing room. I just spent like an hour and a half taking stuff out of here that doesn't need to be here, like fabric scraps, different like boxes of stuff. And I took it upstairs to the empty bedroom that we have. I'm definitely gonna have to go through and like throw away things that I don't need later when I have some downtime. But right now I'm just I was trying to focus on like getting my workspace like a little bit more organized, so that everything can flow smoothly with that. Over here I have a clothes rack, so that's gonna be my like in progress area for the bridesmaid dresses, the wedding dress, and the jumpsuit. But I'm starting with the bridesmaid dresses, of course. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting out the skirt pieces, and then I have these hangers. I got like a box of like 100 of these from Amazon. I want to say it was $15, but I'm not sure. I just remember it was really cheap. So I hang the bottom pieces on here. So I'm going to do all the cutting first, and then I'm going to do all the sewing, and then I'm going to work on the top pieces, and then it's going to be sewing the tops to the bottoms, and then it's going to be inserting zippers and finishing and all that. So that's what this station is for. Okay, so over here I have a little blank space on my wall. So I have these binder clips, and I'm just gonna pin them to the wall with thumbtacks so that I can organize my pattern pieces. So I'm only going to be using these for the tops of most of the dresses. All the bridesmaids are going to have just like strapless dresses that go straight across. So here's my pattern piece for the strapless, the side panels, because it is a princess seam. So there's 3 panels for the front and then 2 panels for the back. And then this is the center panel. And instead, obviously, instead of like doing the little princess cut thing, I'm going to just cut this straight across on the fold for the center. And then this is the back piece, and you can see there's a thick line across here, so I'm just going to be folding that down when I cut those pieces out. So I'm going to clip these together because these will all be utilized when I get ready to do my bodice pieces. And I'm just going to pin it to the wall. Okay, and then I also have the skirt back. It's a little wrinkled, but it'll do. This is the skirt back piece. And then these are the front pieces. So this is my right front skirt, and then this is my left front skirt. As you can see, one is wider than the other. That's because a split is built in, and this is for a left leg split. So when I cut these out, I'm going to be making sure that I'm cutting them out with the fabric facing up on the wrong side, so that I end up with a right leg split, because that's what the bride wants the dresses to have. I'm not going to hang these up just yet because I'm about to, well, actually I will, just so that they can be out of the way. And then now I'm going to open my fabric, and then I'm going to unroll it so that I can start cutting. If you have carpet in your workspace like I do, don't forget to vacuum first. All right, so now I'm going to open the fabric. And I ordered this from Spandex World. This is my black fabric because I have 9 bridesmaids that are going to be wearing black. So I ordered 36 yards. Because typically for like a mermaid gown, I want 4 yards to be safe. Okay, so I've begun to unroll the fabric for the black bridesmaid dresses. When you unroll the fabric, it's important that you pay attention to right side versus wrong side. This side that's facing up is the matte side of the moleskin. The shiny side is on the bottom, it's facing down. So that's the right side, and then this is the wrong side. So if I have my wrong side facing up, because I want a right leg split, when I lay my pattern pieces facing up, those are made for a left leg split. But if I cut on the wrong side like I'm about to do, it's going to give me a right leg split. Always make sure you're paying attention to the direction of your fabric, face up, face down, before you start cutting, because you cannot uncut. So double, triple, quadruple check before you start laying pattern pieces and making cuts. All right, so the first pattern that I'm cutting, the client has the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the waist to hip, because this is made for an 8-inch waist to hip. So if you measure this, you're going to see it's 8.5 inches because it's 8 inches plus the 1/2-inch seam allowance. So I'm going to take off 2 inches from here to here because hers is only 6 inches long. So I'm going to fold the pattern down. Or actually, I'm going to fold the pattern back at that 2-inch mark. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to fold it back and then fold it down. So I have removed 2 inches from the waist to hip length. Okay, so for this particular client, I looked at it wrong at first. So I have an extra large / 2X. So she's between an XL and a 2X, but she's closer to an XL. So what I'm gonna do, this is the XL line, this dotted line, and the 2X line is the spaced out arrows. I'm going to fold it back in between those two, but with the fold being a little bit closer to the extra large line. And that's me making her sizing be between an XL and a 2X. And then for the hip, her hip is just a large. So we're gonna taper it in from here between XL and 2X down to the solid line, which is a large for the hip area. So once you get to the hip, it's gonna be a straight large for this particular client. And it works out because it's fairly like a straight line down. And then these are all going to get folded back to large. If you have carpet, guys, you can save time pinning your fabric by just sticking the pins into the carpet. So that's that side. And then over here, you have the large and extra large line and then a 2X line. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna be folding it in between the large, or the extra large and the 2X. So now for this other piece, since the person is a size large in the hip, I'm going to go ahead and fold back this line at the size large line. I've already adjusted and made my waist to hip 6 inches. So now I'm gonna fold back on the size large line. Going to start pinning that down. And then I'm going to fold the hip back to a size large. And then we're going to do something a little different at the waistline. I'll try to cut this one more time. If you're having trouble getting a good fold, you probably just need to add another cut so you can accommodate the curves properly. for the waist, remember we want our waist to be between a size XL and 2X. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm gonna measure between the XL to 2X on this side, and then I'm gonna measure between the XL to 2X on this side. Probably should be measuring up here actually. Okay, so yeah, let's say 5.75 inches is what I get when I measure like kind of like a halfway point. So what I'm going to do is measure from my fold, because I have two sides to accommodate here. So I'm gonna measure from my fold, and that's gonna tell me where to fold back here. It's not gonna be, I'm not gonna be folding between the XL and the 2X, because over here I've already folded it back for a size large. So now I'm going to be folding it back for like a specific measurement, because between XL and 2X from here to between XL and 2X over here is 5.75 inches. So I'm gonna measure from this fold and measure to 5.75 inches, and that has me folding between the large and the extra large. But when I do that, I'm actually going to be getting an XL 2X size. And again, that's how my brain works. If it doesn't make sense, please leave questions, and I can do like literally a special video dedicated to this, because I know that was kind of complicated. And while you're doing this, you're going to be making sure that as you fold it, you're eventually matching up with the size large down here on the hip line. All right, and I think now we're ready to cut. Now, one more thing. This person's hip to floor is 35 inches. So I usually draft patterns for my height. I'm 5'2". And my hip to floor is like 33 inches. So hers is 2 inches longer than mine because she's 35 inches. So when I cut this pattern, I'm going to add 2 inches at the bottom of the pattern because I want everyone's skirt to fall kind of like the same length from, you know, their feet to the floor. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. And I'll explain why I do that as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces out, and then I'm going to pick them up, roll the fabric down some more, and then I'm going to cut the back pieces. So here I am laying out the back piece. I'm just going to cut it on the fold and then cut it down the middle. Okay, now remember, this person has an adjusted waist to hip length of 6 inches. So we're going to be removing 2 inches from the torso, if that's what it's called. We'll just say we're removing 2 inches from the waist to hip area. So you're going to mark your 2 inches, fold it down. Fold it back up on that dotted hip line. Pin. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin the pattern to the fold. And this does not need to be cut on the fold. I'm just doing it that way because it is identical pattern pieces. Once I cut it out, I'm going to cut it down the middle so that I'll have 2 pieces. And for the hip, we have a size large. So I'm going to fold everything from hip level on down back to a large. then for the waist, it's going to be between an extra large and a 2X. So we're going to fold it back like that up here. And make it meet the size large in the hip area. And now we're just about ready to cut it out. Okay, so now that the pieces have been all cut out, they're ready to be sewn together. I'm pinning the client's measurements along with her name to the skirt and hanging it up on my in progress clothing rack. Do not ever cut out any pattern pieces and hang them up to come back to later without labeling them, especially if you're working on 9 of the exact same dress. Okay, it's 2:30 and I've cut out 2 dresses and I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep. I wanted to do them all in one day, but I got a really late start, so I'm just going to try to catch up tomorrow because I just have to go to the dentist and then the rest of my day is free. So yeah, you guys will get updated on my progress in the next vlog.